Well, to the Falcons, Week 12. Welcome into Raiders Game Day, presented by America First Credit Union. Erin Coscarelli alongside my guys, Marcel, Reece, Eric Allen. Gentlemen, how you doing?
All right.
Hanging in there,
I've been better.
Been better. Things didn't go quite as planned in Atlanta. Quick takeaway from what you guys saw on the road. Marcel, go first.
I don't know about you, EA, but I've been through some of these games like this, and I'm ready to forget it as fast as possible.
Yeah, for 2020, this was an unrecognizable team. I didn't know who was out there. Who are you guys?
Sure.
And hopefully we can rebound and get back on the horse and get down to business in New York.
No matter the results early on in the season, this team was always resilient and always played tough with passion and energy, just didn't necessarily recognize the product that we put on the field today.
From the get-go, it did seem like the team was off. We will talk a lot about what happened today, and there's a lot to get to on the show for you folks at home. Of course, we're going to bring you highlights from the Raiders Week 12 matchup against the Dirty Birds. Gruden and Raiders players' post-game reaction will get you that. And Darren Waller heading back to his home state of Georgia. We profile a young tight end's journey. Very interesting indeed. And the Jets, the second of back-to-back East Coast swings, now an even more important game in New York. We'll talk about it, but first, I don't know if you guys want to see these highlights, but we're going to bring it to you at home. Let's take a look at how this week's game went down as the Raiders head out east to take on Matt Ryan and company, a second-best passing offense in the league. They don't have to worry about Julio. They don't have to worry about Todd Gurley, but they do have to worry about Jonathan Abram.
Yeah. They were trying to pick on Isaac pretty much as soon as he came in the game. And this is how
Isaiah
you
Johnson?
make the quarterback go the other way.
Yep.
Great job here, playing through the pocket. You see the slow-mo on this nice little return there. Got to get to the near sideline. But great job by the corner, working through that pocket. You almost want to like baseball it, okay?
Yeah.
You want to swipe it, you want to baseball it. So great job getting that turnover.
Great job on 4th and 3. What a gutsy call to the rookie. Henry Ruggs didn't get in, but Marcel, nice play, right?
Yes. We need so much more of this from Henry Ruggs III and also Derek Carr and also John Gruden. Let's call it up, let's dial it up, and let it loose. This kid wants to play football. He wants to go up and show that he can go get that ball for the Las Vegas Raiders, and we need to give him that opportunity. Great play.
Great play indeed. 3 for 56 for the rookie. Second quarter we go. 4th and 16. Younghoe Koo missing the field goal wide right. Unfortunately, as you saw right there, roughing the kicker penalty. Penalty's an issue, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see with a trap game, those hidden yardage penalties and turnovers.
And they capitalized because it became a first down. This was 4th and 3. Matt Ryan finding Calvin Ridley in the end zone. Raiders down by 10. Third quarter we go. Raiders trailing by 13
another
and a half.
play by Morrow. Nicholas has been playing really good football. Man, got to see him on the field. Continue to get him down. Unblocked, takes care of his hole, squeezes, gets to the linebacker, then brings the party along.
50 has shown up the last few weeks, and it's been really good to see.
Yeah, Brian Hill stuffed on that play. Next play, 4th and 5. Atlanta to punt. The tip punt, courtesy of Derek Carrier, setting up the Raiders on the Atlanta number 36. And here we go, 2 plays later, 2nd and 10. Carr with the pick 6, Marcel.
This one just a bad decision by DC, trying to make something happen, pressing, and he knows it. He knows he wants to have that one back, just tuck it and take the sack and live to fight another play.
Carr not happy, coach not happy, and not with Ito Smith on 3rd and 7, finding the end zone. And the Raiders lose in Atlanta, falling to 6 and 5 as you take a look at the final score. 43-6. Carr, not a great day. 3 turnovers. Ruggs getting in on the action. How does Coach feel about the game? Of course, we're going to hear from Coach Gruden on that scoreboard after the break. Don't go anywhere. Raiders Game Day will return in a moment.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation made to chill. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'd like to say, apologize to the Raider Nation. I really compliment the Falcons. They played a hell of a football game. and we did not. The turnovers, the penalties, inexcusable. It's a reflection of me. We're a lot better team than that, and I'll answer any questions that I can.
Yeah, John, Jerry McDonald, had you seen anything during the course of the week in terms of preparation that indicated that something was off, and how are you able to put a game like this behind you and move on?
Oh, we just did. We just put it behind us, and that's what we have to do, and that's what we will do. It's a challenge right now for any team, I think, concentrating through all the adversity, the ups and downs, players coming and going. There's some things you got to fight through, but you know, when we got hit in the mouth, I think with the 4th and 1, the stop, then we fumble the next play. We've got to get up off the mat and fight back better as a coaching staff and as a football team, and that's something we got to take a look at. Like I said, it's a reflection of me, and I apologize to the Raider fans.
Hey, John, penalties, like you said, it was another issue today. Have you noticed a trend with that at all? Is a particular issue what's leading to those, or is it random?
No, we've like I said, we've been pretty good to this point. We've had a couple games where we have been penalized, roughing the passer, roughing the kicker. We had some holding calls, illegal hands to the face. You know, you fall behind in the down and distance. You give teams free shots. It's a recipe for disaster, and that was what you saw today.
Hi, John, during the week you pushed back pretty hard on this idea that this 6-4 team felt any different than it did last season or anything. You were talking about finishing it. Did you have any feeling that maybe this team bought too much into that idea?
No. You know, that's going to be written and talked about, I'm sure, on, you know, some of the talk shows, rightfully so. We didn't play well today. Falcons are fighting for their lives. We said that coming in here. This is one of the best 3-7 teams I have seen. They did this to Minnesota, who was a playoff team last year. And I challenge anybody that's getting ready for Atlanta. This team is a very good football team and are well coached.
All right, Coach Gruden doesn't like to sugarcoat things, courtesy of his press conference right there. He said it was a recipe for disaster, and that is what you saw. EA, what did you take from what Coach Gruden had to say?
Well, I think they were facing a football team that wanted to show, hey, we can stop the run, we can make some plays with our terrific quarterback, and we can run the football effectively. They wanted to have an identity today, and that's one thing they were able to accomplish. On the Raiders side, just too many mistakes, mental errors, the penalties today, just not something that we're used to seeing with this Raiders football team, because usually we're buttoned up, we're detailed, and do a very good job of overcoming adversity. We've done that several times this year, and today, like I said, just uncharacteristic of what we've seen so far in the 2020 season.
It seemed almost like there was a carryover from maybe the fall that happened with the Chiefs, losing by 4 so close, and maybe perhaps that impacted their practice. Marcel, what do you make of what Coach had to say? And
you know, when a coach like John Gruden comes out and he immediately apologizes to the fans, the entire Raider Nation, you could tell there was a bit of embarrassment. You know, he has so much passion, so much pride for this game and the brand of football that he teaches, that he expects his team to play with, and it just didn't come out today in the way that we played today. It was very uncharacteristic, like EA noted earlier, and you just got to put it behind you. You have to forget about it because there's a ton of football to play in this season. This was an NFC game. There's a ton of football to play. You still control your own destiny, and as a coach, John Gruden, Tom Cable, and the rest of that staff is going to teach this team how to put it behind them, prepare for the next week, and play great football down the stretch. Raider brand football, Las Vegas Raider brand of football. They just didn't get there today.
Didn't get there today, and leading up to the week, Coach Gruden giving a lot of credit to Raheem Morris, this interim coach who this team seems like they are playing really hard for, maybe playing for a job next year. But this is a guy that maybe knows Gruden very well, right? Played with him or coached with him when he was in Tampa?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about identity. You know, what kind of coach you want to be, what kind of team you want to be. Remember, I mean, he's fighting for a job. He's an interim head coach. So he's on the spotlight right now. And what he wants to do is have that ownership group look at these final 7 or 8 games and really say, do we have identity? Who am I looking at on this football team? Can we do certain things? And today, I thought they did an outstanding job defensively on first down, I mean, they just wrecked the pocket, really did a great job of getting after us on the run, and then on third down, made some huge plays on third down, and then offensively just did enough. They ran the football effectively, threw the ball effectively, really balanced. It looked a lot like the Raiders would look on a good football team, right? Balanced on offense and getting after it on first down with defense. So Coach Morris did a great job.
Rushing yards in the first half from Josh Jacobs, and injuries to keep an eye on moving forward. A couple of guys in the secondary, and Coach Gruden said on Wednesday that he would in fact update us with an injury report on how the guys are doing. But, you know, going up against the second best passing offense in Matt Ryan and company with a banged up secondary, you had Damon Arnett leave the game. Mullen was out momentarily, so was Jeff Heath. You have to expect that this would be something that would happen. And let's show you guys the injury report. Of course, we will get you an update. Coach was saying maybe Wednesday he'd get a better idea of what the deal is. Josh Jacobs certainly with that ankle injury in the fourth quarter. Don't want to see him out for too long. Like I mentioned, Trayvon Mullen had that abdomen middle of the game. And in the very first quarter, they lost Damon Arnett with that concussion, and that left a wide open.
That may linger on till next week. And, you know, who knows what's going to happen with, you know, people closing on Monday and Wednesday. So it's just a lot of things going into this week, which is very important for the Jets. But having Arnett, who's played really good football as a young player, really established himself technically, does a really good job, very physical on the run. That's probably one of the reasons why he got banged up a little bit. We have to really watch him because when his replacement came in, Matt Ryan went right at him.
That's a veteran. That's a veteran quarterback. You bring a backup in. I don't care what number he is. I don't care what his name is. You go right after him just to test him. You have to test the water.
And Isaiah Johnson did have that tip pass that went to Jonathan Abrams, certainly. But you know that Matt Ryan is going to take chances when he can. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what slowed the Raiders' high-powered offense down in Atlanta. A team really good on the road. What happened? We'll talk about it. Stay tuned.
Presented by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Jerry McDonald, it seemed almost like from the very outset, something was off today offensively. Is there anything you can pinpoint at all? Did it feel that way?
It absolutely felt that way. I didn't think, personally, we had our best week of practice. Personally thought we were a little flat. Clearly, that was the case in the game, and anytime you turn the ball over like that, you're not going to win football games. You know, that's very rare. Percentages are really low, so I haven't felt this way in a while. So it's a gut punch for sure.
You were asked about it during the week. Did it feel like last year's game against the Jets, kind of a similar thing, week 12?
Yeah, absolutely did. And again, I still stand by what I said. It feels different on this team, you know. But our week of practice was not to the standard that we have set, that we have, really had. Again, I haven't felt this way with this team yet, where we got punched in the face and it just kept happening. And we have to give credit to Atlanta. For how good of a team they are. We knew it based on the film. We knew it based on top 10 rush defense, top 10 third downs. They did a great job on third down today, and honestly, when you watch the film, we're an assignment here, assignment there, a better throw here, a better throw there from a lot of points. And I think that's the most frustrating part when you get, the crap kicked out of you like that, is how close we were to some really big plays.
Carr giving love to the Falcons on third down. The Raiders were 3 for 12 on third down, and this is a team that's number 1 in conversion rate when it comes to third down. But Carr saying it was like getting punched in the face. It was a gut punch. He was obviously not very happy with the team's performance. Marcel, my first question to you, what do you take from Carr? He called practice flat this week. Does practice really impact the way the game flow goes if you have a bad practice?
Absolutely. But to DC's point, if you're having a bad practice, not just a bad week, you don't let it get to a bad week. You have your leaders step up and say, if this is a bad practice, and you do whatever you have to do to change that. You figure out what the issue is, EA. We've all been through it. Where something, little lackadaisical, relaxing on a catch here, relaxing on a catch there, not necessarily finishing through your tackles, eyes are wrong, and you just got to get guys back in gear. Who are the leaders in this locker room? And that's what we need to see. That's what I'm excited to see now. Who's the leader in the locker room that's going to step up and say, we're not having a bad practice now. We're not going to have a bad week now because we still control our own destiny. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm Derek, and I'm not allowing my team to go through 2 or 3 periods of practice and have it subpar. I mean, I have to be able to, hey, we got to start it over. You got to find a way to bring people together and say, this is not the way we practice. With everything going on the outside, with all these things we're having to deal with, this is the one place we can come and really make sure it translates to the game. Practice is so essential, so important. And I know, I mean, I'm going from apples and oranges, but if you had a practice like this with Rich Gannon or Jerry Rice, we'd be out there for 3 or 4 hours. You just don't stand for it. Offensively, those guys were the type of guys who want to have very clean practices because we all understood that those things translate to the game, particularly when you have a young team or guys who are in backup roles.
Yes.
This team is full of guys who are in backup roles, guys who are getting injured. So you have to really maintain that discipline and that drive to be perfect in practice and all those plays. When you script those first 15 plays in practice, they need to be automatic, they need to be perfect.
Yes.
Those things translate to the game. And I think this team is not experienced enough to handle everything that goes into a COVID week, not making excuses, and then just roll out and play against a team like Atlanta, who is very, very talented and well coached.
But at the same time, EA, you got to think about it. This team has been through a lot of adversity early on in the season. They've been through a lot, so they can handle it. You know, this is the time where it doesn't matter who your coach is, doesn't matter what the coaches say. This is a time where players start to take autonomy, start to hold each other accountable and say, this is on us. Because when it comes down to playing football and that first whistle blows and we line up inside those painted lines, the coach doesn't matter. We make it happen. And that's what this team has to do.
Yeah.
We have to see those type of players step up into those roles and hold each other accountable, hold themselves accountable.
Right.
And put the Las Vegas Raider brand of football product on the field.
Yeah, and another thing we always talk about in November and December, the type of football teams that go on are teams that are physical and rugged. And I was really surprised that when the Atlanta Falcons early on defensively kind of balled up their fists and hit the Raiders in the mouth, there was really no response. And the response I was expecting was a dominant run. You got to get after them. If you want to play a physical football game, it all starts up front. We continue to talk about that when we play Kansas City. And this team plays up and down, and that's not a good sign. So you play up against Kansas City because they're great. You look at the record against Atlanta, hey, they're 3-6. You go in, we're okay. They hit you in the mouth, you don't respond. You have to be physical late November and December. It's not about throwing the ball all over the place, playing 7-on-7. It's about rolling your fist up, getting your linemen off, getting them to the second level, running your backs, making sure you protect your quarterback on those play actions. I didn't see any of that from the Raiders. I saw that from the Atlanta Falcons today.
You're exactly right, EA. And we call that imposing your will in the offensive room. And Costco, to what he's saying is, you know, what I point that to is that's why turnovers are so important, that you win the turnover battle. Because if you start turning the ball over, you lose momentum as an offense. You get down as an offense. And our identity is running the football, getting JJ, getting D-Book, getting Jalen Richard, those 21 to 30 carries that we talk about, that magic number. But you can't do that if you're playing from behind and you're behind the sticks. You're getting penalties, uncharacteristic football. So again, just playing fundamental Raider football is what it comes down to.
That's right, that's right. And you pointed to that fumble right there, Aaron. So when you are trying to create that momentum, when you're trying to create that tempo for yourself, right, and you haven't run the ball effectively, and you get a chance to get that extra yards after you're going to try and do a little bit more.
Press.
You're right. You try and press because now, hey, I'm in the open. I need to make a big play to get my team back.
Interesting.
Just not. You have to be measured and you have to be physical from down one if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, because that's who you are.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. The offensive line, Patrick Omameh was the 4th, I believe, left guard playing the position. So, you know, the offensive line obviously impacted the run game. Josh Jacobs, I think The Raiders as a whole had 40 rushing yards total today. And like you said, that is the identity. If they're running the rock, that's a good thing. If they're not, 7 carries total for JJ. Not going to get you a W when you're on the road taking on the Falcons. All right, well, how do the Raiders bounce back from this loss? We're going to talk about it next here on Raiders Game Day. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back into Raiders Game Day. Tough loss for the Raiders Week 12 as they fall to the Falcons. Let's turn the page. Where do you go from here, EA?
Well, again, it's all about understanding kind of what you've gone through, knowing that you can overcome adversity. This has been a trying year, but you got to get healthy and you got to move on. And how you move on is have an outstanding practice. Even if the facility is going to be closed early in the week, so it's going to be 2 critical days of practice. Friday, you're going to probably be taken off to New York after a walkthrough. So again, a lot of preparation, a lot of study, button up, detailed, oriented type of Zoom practices, and just make sure you get back to your identity. Not trying to fool anybody and play any tricks, about running the football effectively, finding something on defense that you can pound away on, stopping the run, forcing it to be one-dimensional. You'll be back to Raider football.
Yeah, this was a team that wanted to stay on the East Coast, but COVID had other plans for them. So they do have to go back and then make a second trip, like you said, Friday to go East Coast. And obviously plane travel can take a lot out of players when it comes to swelling and all of that fun stuff.
Sure.
So, right, no, but truly, right, 2 East Coast back-to-back trips is not easy, even though they're playing the winless Jets. How do you believe they get back on track and get back on that momentum?
Just forget about this one. It's over. So right now on the plane, you're ripping up the box score, not even watching the film, and now you're moving on to the next week because that's what it's about. The next game is going to be your biggest game, and it's just a fact. It's a cliche, but it's a fact right now. This team, it was a bad showing. It wasn't our brand of football. There were so many uncharacteristic things that we did. Now we prepare for the Jets.
But how do you tell fans that are probably watching at home right now, they just went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and lost by a sliver of a shot. And then you see what happens when they take on a 3-7 Falcons team that has really nothing to play for.
I say, just like any other week, you can now look at the record. This is the NFL, and every team has extremely good playmakers, and they're going to make big plays. It's about any given Sunday, anything can happen. And that's why it's so important right now for the entire Raider Nation to know that there is so much football to be played right now. This was an NFC game, so when it comes down to all the playoff stuff down the road, if there was going to be one to drop, this was the one. We have huge games to go, and we as the Raiders control our own destiny.
I like that you said that.
We can just worry about ourselves and start winning and stacking up wins again because they come in bunches.
Right.
Yeah, they do.
We run off a few of them, and now we're looking at the top, and we're right in there in the playoff race.
Yeah, and sometimes, like Kansas City Chiefs, the loss there, people were patting you on the back, hey, you can play with anybody. Yeah. And again, you have to figure out and find out a way through practice that you have to move on from positives and negatives and look at the opponent you're playing and get down to correcting your mistakes and get down to business.
Absolutely, EA, as you are taking a look at the AFC current playoff picture, and the Steelers are taking on, as you see, number 8 there, the Ravens on Tuesday. We will break down that game in a moment, but you're absolutely right. This is a setback for their playoff aspirations, but they do control their destiny, and the Raiders need to focus on what lies ahead. Let's show their remaining schedule. Week 13, of course, the winless Jets on deck, but right there in the middle, and don't forget the Broncos, always a tough out, right,
You can get a Sharpie, though, Erin, and just scribble on week 14, 15, 16, and 17. You could just, I don't want to see all that stuff.
All right.
Just focus on week 13.
But
Jets.
Are the guys focusing on week 13?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
They should be on the plane right now looking at the Jets.
They got the Jets uploaded to their iPads right now.
At iPads.
You know how it is.
Exactly. Because remember, this is going to be the last time they're together for almost 2 days.
Yes.
Oh,
because the facilities are closed. So this is going to be the last time. So this might be a great opportunity for you to see something on the iPad and go over to Jonathan and say, hey, you know what? This is cover 2 here. We play it like this, and he threw the out. I'm going to be here. Start looking at it now. Start breaking it down now so you can get that advanced because it's going to be a trying week for a team that's banged up. Like we said, Monday and Tuesday, you're out. You're at home, maybe on Zoom or something. So it's going to be very difficult if you're not right now with your guys breaking it down on the way back.
Absolutely.
Sure, and take advantage of that long flight home.
Yes.
I imagine the Raiders are going to do that.
I know
right,
you
well,
would do it. You'd
Yep.
taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. All right, what else happened in Week 12? We've got an NFL roundup when we return. Don't go anywhere.
Presented by San Manuel Casino, official Southern California casino of Allegiant Stadium.
Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. You're taking a look at our Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center. Very cool indeed. Can never look at that enough. It is so awesome. All right, Raiders Game Day returns as Las Vegas takes an L against the Falcons this week. But what else happened in Week 12? Let's show you NFL scores presented by Sports Water as you're taking a look right there. What stands out to me, Titans beat the Colts 45-26. How about the Broncos without a quarterback?
Without a quarterback.
And managed to score 3 points. Kendall Hinton, practice squad wide receiver, he went 1 for 9.
Wow. He played quarterback like 8 years ago. Like,
you know what? Valiant effort. When you guys look at the scoreboard Week 12, what stands out to you guys?
For me, Cleveland, because again, you go back to, we played them, nasty conditions, we won the football game, but again, without the splash, Odell, they're running the football. They're continuing. Hunt and Chubb doing a great job of tandem running, and Baker's playing at the play action.
When I see the Patriots gain one on the Arizona Cardinals there, which was a surprise. But the Tennessee Titans, this is a football team that can scare you in the playoffs.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
with so many limitations, facilities being closed again, this team knows that they have to run the football.
Right.
When you're a big passing team, you worry about timing. If you're not in the building, you can't practice, you can't gain timing. You can't even be together. But this team, what they're going to do is line up, and you say, beat the man across you and run the football. And that's a team that a lot of these teams should be aspiring to be going down the
Cleveland
stretch
Browns
right
are
now.
trying to run.
Let's run the football, get behind our bell cow, and see if let's see if we can beat them up.
Right, they're a physical football.
beat
Even the
somebody
receivers
up.
are physical. The guys running over people from 5-10 yards away.
Let's go. Let's be tough guys.
Yeah, that's what you got to be. Tough.
Chiefs beat the Bucks by 3, and Tyreek Hill went absolutely bananas. 13 catches, 269 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Is that like the best fantasy ever?
Somebody guard that.
I think it was like 60 points.
Goodness.
So you could just start him and you'd win your league. All
said
right,
you
coming
did.
up next, under further review with my guys. They're going to chop up some topics around the league. I promise it's interesting. Stick around. We'll be right back. And this week's Intermountain Healthcare Impact Team of the Week is the Henderson Flag Football League Raiders. The Raiders, comprised of 9 and 10-year-olds, won the HFFL Super Bowl this year. What? Throughout the shortened season, the team and the players and coaches organized food drives for families in need. How cool is that? Congrats, you guys, on being named the Intermountain Healthcare Impact Team of the Week. I love that stuff. Thank you guys so much. All right, it's time for Under Further Review. I throw out a topic. These guys chop it up. We had a couple of good games on Thanksgiving while you were crushing some cornbread stuffing, Marcel, and it made us think Thursday night football. As a football player, are you a fan or not?
I'm a fan.
As a football player, do you guys enjoy Thursday night football games?
I don't like Thursday night football.
You don't like that because it's short.
It's short. It kind of takes away from like the overall event of playing on Sunday or the special Thursday night game. Just no, I don't like
Really?
it.
No.
I'm not a big fan.
Not a
of
fan.
Thursday
I think
night.
I just
Not a fan.
like playing. When you think about it, you just want to play.
Yeah, but I can wait till Sunday.
Okay.
And another thing too is like in year 10, We played a Sunday game, and then we had to play Thursday. I was like,
that's why I'm a little hesitant, because your
hold
body
up.
doesn't quite recover till Thursday.
I was like, cover 2 every play.
All right, what about Vegas hosting like a Thanksgiving Day game, right? It's always Detroit and Dallas, but if Vegas hosts it, it's like a home game for
Vegas should be hosting everything.
They need to rotate this thing.
Oh, this is the entertainment capital of the world.
That's right.
They need to rotate it at least.
So we're all aware.
Let's go,
all right.
Roger.
Speaking of Thanksgiving, John Madden, of course, an icon on CBS, known for his famed turkey legs he liked to hand out to the MVP. So it made us think, a legendary broadcaster that was a favorite of yours growing up or currently. Marcel, who was your favorite sportscaster?
Growing up, you love Madden, and one of your dreams is always to have one of those turkey legs, to be one of those MVPs. But I got to go with being an LA boy, C. Hearn, man. For the Lakers, Chick Hearn.
Oh,
Chick
yeah.
Hearn. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that one.
Had the coin phrases, everything, but Madden was the guy.
Madden was the guy.
Madden was the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when Thursday, if you had a chance to play on Thursday on Thanksgiving, and you had the turkey, and whenever we would play, Reggie White would always get the turkey leg no matter what. I could have like 3 picks, touchdown. He always gives it to Reggie anyway. So, but Madden was the guy, has the greatest video game ever. Every kid wants to play Madden from here to Japan. So
yeah, he came, turducken.
Yes.
Little turkey, little duck, little chicken. All right, I like it.
Turkey
Oh,
star
mine,
handle
by the way, is Vince Scully, Dodger broadcaster for the last 6 and 7 years.
Another
Linda
LA
Coscarelli,
legend.
a big fan.
Out of here, San Diego.
I like it. I like it. All right.
Dodgers.
By the way, NFL recently announced semi-finalists for the induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Who is in or out? Name a guy you think might be on the list that might make it, that's not kind of a big standout.
I think
Darren Woodson.
Darren Woodson.
Darren Woodson, 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Darren played a hybrid safety linebacker. He would cover the number 3 receiver at times. He covered the running back. Everyone talks about all those other players for Dallas, but of those Super Bowl times, he was the vital key link to that defense, Darren Woodson.
So many guys on this list, and I recognize so many of them too, play with a couple of them, but you're looking at Calvin Johnson, a guy from my era, who's probably the first of our era on there as a first ballot Hall of Famer. And then Richard Seymour, a guy that I played with that was just awesome. I mean, just one of the most dominating forces of our era of football. Every time he touched the field, you had to know where he was. He always made an impact play. So I'm seeing Richard Seymour.
I don't know if you see at the top of that list, but he's kind of a big deal.
Is that alphabetical order?
Allen, shout out. Eric Allen, our very own Eric Allen.
Thank you, guys.
On the list, semi-finalist.
Hey, get on in there, man. Get
pretty
your foot in the
call.
cool,
The call.
by the way. Yeah.
I'll wear my jacket on the show every night.
By the way, just don't forget about the little people.
Come on.
Is all I
You guys
gotta
are
say.
there. You guys
all
are
right?
there.
All right, very cool. When we come back, by the way, a Darren Waller story like you have never seen it, inspiring, motivating. You'll want to check this out. Darren Waller when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Darren Waller heads back to his home state of Georgia, playing in his 6th season in the NFL, a career almost cut short due to his struggles with substance abuse. It wasn't until the troubled tight end was picked up by the Raiders and given a second chance. Here is Waller's story as he tackled and overcame his struggles with addiction.
Darren was raised mostly here in Georgia. He had a few years in Colorado, where we lived before we moved here, but mostly here in Georgia, in Ackworth, Georgia. Suburban, good schools, the barbecues, the fun. It was your typical middle-class neighborhood.
His mom is intelligent. I feel like I'm intelligent. We've both studied hard, and we've taught them from an early age to, value education. And so they always excelled in school, and then next thing you know, when he gets on the field, a light bulb comes on. He just starts taking off and just destroying people. Even back then, I saw flashes that this kid can be something special.
I had a real good childhood, honestly. 2 parents that was there, raised me and my sister the right way. Good neighborhood, good school system, It was probably rough for me just because, You know, I was friends with a lot of like white kids. I was never hesitating as to who I wanted to be around. It just happened to be that way. Black kids I played sports with and went to school with used to just kill me all the time, just like, you're not black enough, you're not this, you're not that. So it was kind of like just lost in that world.
I noticed changes in the way he would act, and also I think maybe he might have delved in our pill cabinet a little bit here or there. You know, I've had some injuries, and I noticed there were some pain pills that were in the cabinet, and I just kind of noticed that, hey, I haven't taken many of them, and most of them are gone now, so I wondered, oh, man, you know, maybe I did take them, maybe I didn't. You know, it's like, well, no, that's not going to be my kid. It just can't be, right? And you subconsciously can hide it from even yourself, so.
So how old were you when you started using drugs?
I was 15, sophomore year of high school.
What kind of drugs were you using?
Started off with like pills, then I started like smoking weed like probably like a year later, like my junior year, and drinking around like 16. But yeah, I started with pills. As soon as I touched it, it just triggered for me.
What do you have, Darren?
It's not often in life that you get to hit the reset button, right? He got the opportunity to reset football, but more or less in his life, man. And that's the part that really stirs my soul, man, because you can't. I talked to him about that, man.
You in the boat, big boy?
Do you know, man, how many people, they never get opportunity on either one of those, right? But just on your life, man, hitting the reset button. And God's telling you, you got another chance. Now what you gonna do with it, right?
Fake it, Carr whips it, end zone, touchdown. It's handled by Darren Waller.
He was on that Baltimore practice squad, and they were playing the Raiders, and because he was inactive, he didn't have a uniform on, but he was just out there running routes and catching balls. And John Gruden said, who is that guy? By the time they got on the plane to go home, they assigned him to the active roster with the Raiders.
It still hasn't really hit me yet, I guess, but to be able to sign this and really be a part of a team, I don't know, man. I just really can't put it into words. It's crazy.
Waller making an impact on and off the field. Hard not to root for number 83, who should be a Pro Bowler this season. All right, coming up next week's road opponent to the Meadowlands. Coming up, we're going to preview the Raiders matchup against the JETS Jets. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Got jump ball out here with Gesicki.
Fitzpatrick over the middle. It's caught and into the end zone. It's Shaheen. Third touchdown this season for Adam Shaheen, and the Dolphins strike on third down.
All right, we show you that highlight because that's next week's opponents. The Raiders have a date with the Jets as they head out again to the East Coast. When you think of the Jets, gents, even though they're winless, what should the Raiders be concerned about, EA?
Well, first of all, this is a great rivalry. I mean, there's definitely fan bases are crazy about each other. But again, this kind of game, I used to hate preparing for a team that's not really really good because there's nothing to really focus on. So again, you got to focus on yourself. Internalize this week of practice. Make sure you are buttoned up. Make sure you're taking care of what's your responsibility, understanding formations a little bit, but when it comes down to it, with a week like the Jets, team that's really struggling, you really want to play your game. Make them play up. Don't play down to the Jets level. Don't worry about who's quarterbacking and who's going to be the first pick next year. None of that garbage. It's all about you, the product you put on the field, what you want to see after the game is over. You want to see great film, great attention to detail, all those things that you've done in practice this week translate over to the game.
He's exactly right. You focus on the Las Vegas Raiders, playing Las Vegas Raider brand of football, and once you get on this team, you do not get off them. You put your foot on their throat and you keep it on them. You need one of those games. You need one of those games where you feel like we have it from start to finish, and that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, you don't want to be also the team that gives the Jets their first win of the season in Week 12. We're hoping that doesn't happen. But Sam Darnold coming back from that shoulder injury, missed 2 games, I believe, has not thrown a touchdown in 4 straight games. This is a team that's scrappy and wants to win, and that might be their most dangerous asset.
Yeah, Erin, without a doubt, when you have a quarterback there's some questions about, what quarterback is going to be the leader of this football team in the next couple couple of years, and Sam wants to be that guy, obviously. So he's going to go out and try and put his best foot forward, try and play his best football game, try and get all the people in that Jets offense involved in the game, because he wants to be the guy for the Jets. And again, the coaching staff is not really set on one particular style of football. If they're going to be a passing team, if they're going to be a running team. Defensively, they're all over the place, zone and man. So again, with all that being said, it's so important that you refocus on yourself and make sure that when you leave the game, people understand what the Raider brand of football is all about.
Yes.
Being able to stop the run, force the Jets into making situational turnovers in offense, just pound them. I mean, at the end of this game, you should look and say, this Raiders football team is powerful. They ran the football today. The tight end was explosive. The receivers were making plays. They scored in a variety of different ways. But in the end, they were dominant. They made us kind of play to their level.
Sure. Exactly. And hopefully this is the game to put them back in the win column, kind of get them recentered, as they have, you know, as we saw, a tough stretch of games taking on the Dolphins and the Colts coming up. So certainly you want to, you know, use this game as an opportunity to get yourself back in the win column. But before we play Week 13, we got to close out Week 12 with a great matchup Monday night. Seahawks taking on the Eagles. It is time for Who You Got.
Ooh, wow.
EA leading the way at 10-3.
Who's that?
I'm going to go first. This seems kind of like a no-brainer. Carson Wentz is not sure. They're starting Jalen Hurts, or at least giving him first-team reps. So there might be a change there at QB. Give me the Seahawks, guys.
Okay,
Marcel,
I
how
am
about you?
definitely going with Danger Russ and the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh,
DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks.
I'm just out in front of the
You're
crowd.
going to go with the Eagles, right?
EAGL. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Whoa.
I'm out of here, guys. I'm out of here.
Come on now.
Come on now.
I'm not giving you a chance to get back into the game.
Wow.
I'm running away with this thing.
Okay.
I'm
All
running
right.
away.
You might call some of your old Eagle friends and just let them know who you're rooting for on Monday night.
EC, don't do that. Don't do that now.
All right, also, we got another opportunity to get in the win column, you and me, Marcel. Tuesday night, pick'em, Ravens taking on the undefeated Steelers. I'll go first. Obviously, give me Big Ben and company. Give me the Steelers.
I also believe the Steelers are going to be stay undefeated. I mean, they're just, all the issues that the Ravens have going on, the guys are going to be out.
Definite issues.
Busy over there.
Yeah, they're
Baltimore.
having different issues. Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens. Robert Griffin III is going to make a splash. And I'm telling you, again, the Steelers are undefeated, but even they know they haven't played perfect football. Right. Their record is perfect, but they're not perfect.
No, they're not.
A lot of warts all over that football team, and I think they're going to show on Tuesday Night Football.
I just don't
think
I'm
going with the Ravens.
They don't get that blemish.
I'm going with the Ravens.
On that team.
And don't text me.
Well, you know what? I'm glad, because I'm curious real quick. What would you say the Steelers' weaknesses are?
Well, right now, offensively, the running game is just not consistent. And again, everyone loves Big Ben. I love him too, with all the passing. But it's November. You got to run the football.
They've had some young receivers really step up early on the season, and it's helped them win some games, but they're going to have to establish their run for sure.
You picked the Ravens.
They're not taking the L this week.
You picked the Ravens.
That's
I thought that was a joke. Okay.
No,
all right. Well, I guess you and I are getting back in the win column. We'll be one down from EA. But speaking of the win column, the Raiders have a matchup heading to the East Coast, looking to get back in that win column. And thank you guys at home. Marcel, Reece, Eric Allen, I'm Erin Coscarelli. Thank you guys for watching Raiders Game Day. We will see you next week. Bye.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Brought to you by Modelo, setting the gold standard for authentic Mexican beer since 1925. Modelo, brewed for those with a fighting spirit. Brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Raiders. Twitch, the official live streaming partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.